This is Support is Sexy, episode 269. Be who you're meant to be, not who you're supposed to be. Welcome to Support is Sexy. I'm your host, Elayne Fluker, entrepreneur, author, and founder of Chic Rebellion Media. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, I interview inspiring women entrepreneurs who share their wins and their lessons to help you take your business and your life to the next level and create something sexy. Here we go. Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Support is Sexy. I'm excited to have you here. It just would not be the same without you. And today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about being who you're meant to be, not who you're supposed to be. Now, when I say supposed to be, I put that in quotes, right? Who we're supposed to be. So that's who we either think we're supposed to be or who other people have told us or implied that we're supposed to be. I want to encourage you today to remember to be who you believe you are meant to be. Your purpose, your focus, your gift, your vision for who you're meant to be. I also wanted to share some of the reasons that some of us have trouble doing that. You know, it's one of those easier said than done things in our minds, at least. It's probably easier done than we think. That's what I always say. Easier done than you think. But being who you're meant to be, there's sometimes some blocks there of why you don't move forward. So I want you to think about this and be conscious of this as you continue to strive to be who you're meant to be, not who you're supposed to be. So in one case, I think a lot of us, it's because we've been doing one thing for a long time. So whether that's a certain job, a certain career, even a certain business, you've gone down this path for so long, you've maybe become comfortable doing whatever that thing is, but you want to make a change, or you feel like you're in a place where who you are doesn't align with what you've been doing all this time, because we all evolve and this happens. And sometimes we are afraid to pivot. And sometimes the pivot is just what we need to do in order to go in the direction that is, again, aligned with who you're meant to be. So don't be afraid to pivot. Give it some thought. And if now is the time to make that change, go ahead and make that change. I always say it's a choice between whether you should persevere or pivot. Just like with a business, when you're deciding to move on to something else, if something's not working, you've decided this probably isn't the thing. I went through this in 2015 and it came to the point, crossroads. Do I pivot or do I persevere? And sometimes the best thing to do is pivot and go in another direction that you feel at that time truly aligns with who you are meant to be. So don't be afraid to do that just because you've been doing this other thing for a certain amount of time. Also, another thing to be aware of is the sunk cost fallacy. I don't know if you've heard of that before, but basically it's the idea of throwing good money after bad, or going down a road just because you've been going that way. Sort of like the first idea that we mentioned, but really it's a road that you know is not working, or a path that you're clear is not right for you, and you're only staying on it because you feel like you've invested so much time, money, energy, relationships, whatever those things are that are of value to you. You feel like you've invested so much into this thing, and perhaps you probably have, because you're an ambitious person and you give it your all. So perhaps you've invested all of those things in there, and the only reason you're staying there is because of those investments. But don't fall into the sunk cost fallacy, this idea that because I put all of this into this, I have to continue to throw even more into this thing that I know is no longer working for me. Again, you must pivot. In that case, you must pivot, must do something else, because you don't want to continue to go down a road or exert energy into something that you're clear is not right for you, just because it's the road you've been traveling for so long. Don't keep putting energy into something you know is dead. You want to do something that really brings you alive, and that you can bring energy and life to something that you are truly passionate about. Another reason that we sometimes end up being who we're supposed to be and not who we're meant to be is that it's simply not what we studied in school, for example, or it's not what your training background is in. So if you've done something like gone to school to be a doctor, 100 years in school, however many years it is, shout out to all the doctors out there. Mad respect to you. But if you've gone down that road and you've become a doctor and you've studied and you've done all of this thing, a doctor, medical doctor, PhD, whatever it is, And then you decide that you want to do something totally different in a different career or a different path, a different space, a different focus. You might feel like, well, I can't do that because I've been doing this so long, or this is the thing that I studied and I'm supposed to, that word again, I'm supposed to do this other thing because this is what I studied or this is how I was trained. That's not true. You only get one life. What if you were meant to do that thing at first and you've done that, or you were meant to learn about that thing and now you can apply that in another way? That's something that I had to come to realize, that things that I've studied and done, even if I decide to do something different, I still take all of that experience with me. So whatever field you're in, just because you may decide to shift and do something different doesn't mean you lose all of the things that you've done before. You may not use them in the same way day to day in whatever you're doing, but they're still there. You don't all of a sudden forget all of those skills that you have. You don't lose all of those contacts. You can keep those contacts if necessary in your new endeavor. You can also certainly keep those experiences. So it all makes up who you are as a person. It's not about the job or the position or the business that you have. Who you are as a person, all of those experiences are a part of you. So you take that with you. I always tell people that you take that with you. So don't waste time being who you're quote unquote supposed to be when you can really be who you're meant to be. And that person at this time might not be what you studied in school. And the last thing I'll share about being who you're meant to be is sometimes we get caught up in expectations and not even our own. We get caught up in the expectations of others, right? People may, going back to the idea of school, they've seen that we've studied this thing for a certain amount of time. So they expect us to be a doctor, or they expect us to be a teacher, or they expect us to do whatever that thing is aligned with what they know of us, other people. And these could be certainly well-meaning people, family, friends, people who love you and want the best for you. But whether they're conscious of it or not, they may have expectations for you to do or be a certain thing. And that's why sometimes you hear people talk about when you move in a different direction or you start doing something different, everybody can't come. I always say that. Everybody can't come, and it's okay. It's not that you want to leave people behind or shouldn't, quote unquote, should or shouldn't leave people behind. But sometimes it happens. And usually that's because those people can't let go of their expectation for you to be a certain thing in their life, or be a certain way, or be up to what you've been up to all these years they've known you. If you're up to something different for whatever reason, and the reason doesn't even matter to you, right? You have to do what's right for you. But for whatever reason, people sometimes want to hold us to the expectations that they have of us and hold us in those spaces where we've always been. So we end up not being who we're meant to be. We end up being who we're supposed to be based on other people's expectations. And the thing that does is it puts us in a space where we are usually afraid to disappoint those people. Because again, not talking about people you don't even know. You're not worried about that. People that you know, love, like, trust, people who feel the same way about you, you probably don't want to disappoint those people. That's normal. But you may have to when it comes to a conflict around being who you're meant to be. So don't be afraid, if you have to disappoint other people if they've had these expectations of you and those expectations don't align with who you are now. This is about you being who you're meant to be, not who you're supposed to be, because you only get one life, as far as we know. If somebody has gotten more and been reincarnated, come on back and tell us. For now, what we know, we get one life, one opportunity, no dress rehearsal. Now is the time. So things that you want to do, experience, especially if you really know, there's some place in you that knows that you are meant to do either something else or something more or try something different. And this isn't saying quit your job, run out, do anything crazy, but this is saying acknowledge that there may be more to you than you are allowing, because you may be limited by all of the things that I outlined, or something different, maybe something I haven't mentioned, but this may have triggered something for you that says, you know what? I'm not living fully out what I really want to do. I haven't tried that thing that I want to create. I haven't experienced that thing that I know I want to experience, whatever that looks like or whatever that is for you. I encourage you, if it's something that you truly want, and if it's something that's truly aligned with who you think you are, who you believe you are, who you know you are, Give it a try. Be who you're meant to be, not who you're supposed to be. All right, so thank you so much for listening. If you're listening to this on a Friday in real time, have an amazing weekend. I will talk to you next week. I look forward to connecting with you. And if you want some continuing support, having a group of people around you who really want to encourage you to be who you're meant to be and who want to give you the tools, resources, their own experience, women entrepreneurs around the world who are doing it at all different levels and who are there to share and connect with you in being who you're meant to be, I want you to go to supportissexymastermind.com. See all of the information there. It's a membership community that I am very excited and passionate about. I am pushing it to you all because I really want us all to come together as a community of women. We are so powerful, even if some of us do not know it. Come together as a community of women who are creating something sexy in the world, who are determined to have impact in their own lives and be of service to other people. Come together, support each other, share, laugh, cry if you have to, share resources, give information, all of that within this community of women. That includes a Facebook group, a membership community with tools, resources, videos, audio training, access to as much as I can provide you, books, book lists, all of that great stuff, as much as I can provide you to help you move forward in being who you're meant to be. So go to supportissexymastermind.com so you can see all of the information there. We're going to have weekly chats, connect, make sure that we are all connected and helping each other move forward, supporting each other in being who we're meant to be, not who we're supposed to be. Because as I always say, having it all doesn't mean doing it all alone. So you want to get around women and other people who support you in truly being who you're meant to be, who you are at this stage in your life, with no expectations, only the hope that you are successful. So go to supportissexymastermind.com, check it out, and let me know if you have any questions. I'm here for you. All right, so thank you all so much for listening. I truly appreciate you. And until next time, you know what to do. Go out there and create something sexy, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.